Welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. With us today, a special guest as always. Did you hear what I just said?
No.
As
As
always.
always.
Yeah.
My accent came out. I said always. As always, introduce yourself.
My name is Soroush. I am a comedian in LA. I don't know how else to describe myself.
What do you identify as right now? A comedian and what else?
A
Oh, man.
comedian? I'd say a comedian and a tutor.
Okay.
I tutor on the side. So math, science. Tennis,
Oh,
stuff
so you're a
like
little
that.
bit of a quant yourself.
I am a quant, yes.
There you go.
But
you got a
it's
quant.
not from my Asian side. My mom's not.
Oh.
She's not a good Asian.
She's not a good Asian.
No.
Why? She's a bad
She-
Asian.
She's she's bad at math.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
she's really bad.
Unfortunate.
But she's like Asian in the ways that you like. You wish that your mom wasn't Asian. She's like hypercritical about certain things. She's a lovable. She's like white in that she's like lovable.
White.
She's very white on the inside.
Oh,
She's, like,
really?
On the
she like
inside.
makes like cookies, and she's always like wants me to pursue my dreams and have love me, but like then she won't laugh at my jokes because she's like
you're not
they
funny.
better be good, like make me laugh. They're not that
That's
good.
good. That's good parenting.
It is, and then
Honestly.
unless like she roasts, she's like 2% body fat, so anything above that is fat to her.
Oh, okay.
So like me, she says I have a cookie pouch. So, like,
Was that like the
just
muffin
like
top?
exactly? It's not even that bad.
Oh, I thought something else. I was like, oh, damn.
No, cookie pouch.
What did you think?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, my
I thought that was.
Oh.
No, wait, no, not your dick.
Hey,
No.
I was like, oh my
We're
god, all
pulling out
my
the
insecurities
insecurities,
all at
bro.
once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit. So do you work out a lot because your mom?
I not because of her, but I work out like 5 days a week or something.
Okay.
How much body fat do you have?
Last time I checked was like 16, but
That's
like
good.
maybe probably a little bit more now.
Okay. That's like that's good.
It's not.
There you go, man.
It's okay.
No, it's
I think I'm less than 1% last time I checked.
I think you're probably like 42.
42?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it 70 actually. I'm just all fat.
You're just obese.
What made you want to do comedy?
I was doing a lot of soul searching. I think I was always trying to be like successful in the conventional sense. So like engineering, I wanted to be like Elon Musk and everything like that. And then I started to realize that like I'm not really. It was always the idea that was interesting to me, but I never really thought about what actually excited me or was interesting to me. I tried a bunch of things, and comedy just happened to be this. Like I was like, I'm gonna try it just randomly. I was like, just for giggles. But like,
Yeah.
I ended up really liking it.
You look a little bit like Elon Musk now that I think about it.
Uh,
A little bit. Slightly Elon Musk. I'm not even
ethically
kidding.
ambiguous Elon.
You
Musk.
remind me of Elon Musk a little bit.
Except you're not South African.
Exactly.
Yeah, he has the same complexion though. Elon Musk
Yeah.
is light skin. You're light
Oh, yeah.
skin.
There you go.
That's a
We're
good
gonna start calling
compliment.
Elon. That's your new
Elon
name.
Musk.
Elon. Hey, yeah.
Elon.
No.
Elon.
So Elon, how'd you get into comedy, bro?
What do you think about X, Elon?
What do I think
Why'd you
about
buy
it?
X?
Why'd
No.
I buy X?
Yeah. We're gonna clickbait you guys.
funny.
Elon
on the
Musk
pod.
from 20 years ago.
That's funny.
So, did you watch a lot of comedy, or how did that need to get giggles come about?
I don't know if it was like a need to get giggles.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up as like a funny person. That was my brother. My brother was really funny. Just like cracks up
Mm.
everybody. Always like unconventional, like super dirty the way that he talks, like like my mom was always like, don't curse, don't do this, don't do that, don't watch, Big Mouth, don't watch like Fairly Odd
Okay.
Parents or anything like that. And I like followed the rules. He was like anti rules. And so he was a funny person. I always watched comedy. I enjoyed it. I really liked, Trevor Noah. I really liked Hasan Minaj's special, Homecoming King. That was one that was like, that really sticks in my mind. And I guess I just like always enjoyed it. And I thought, oh wow, that's such a cool job. Just make people laugh for your job. So I was like,
Is your brother older than you?
he's younger actually.
Younger than you.
Yeah.
And what does he think about your comedy?
He believes in me. He's like,
Nice.
He believes that anyone can do anything that they set their minds to, if they, if
Yeah.
they have the right strategy. So
Is he inspired to also do it?
he's an actor,
Oh, he's an
actually.
actor.
I honestly think he's probably the most gifted comedian that I have met. One of like if he wanted to
Oh,
do it,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he can the way he's so good at picking out discontinuities or just things that don't make sense, and he'll just roast you on it. Like I'm reaching out to my ex right now, and so like he's just roasting me right now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
roasting me because he's like, I've been thinking about it for a year, and I was like, oh, I'll do it after I get a job.
Yeah.
And then like I got a part-time job, and he's like, and I was like, okay, I'll reach out to her now. He's like, bro, you don't really have a job. You like work like 2 or 3 times a week. He's like, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. And he's like, you just said that you were gonna do it. Like, so I was like flip-flopping, and he did it in a funny way, but it was just roasting me.
Yeah. What made you reach out to your ex?
Right now,
Yeah.
I guess I'm. I love how nervous you're getting. I guess I've had a lot of feelings about her for quite a while. And I think they really bubbled up like this last December. And, like,
Really?
yeah. I was having nightmares and stuff.
What the
I was
fuck?
telling you,
How long ago did you break up?
I broke. You're
Yeah.
very nervous.
No, I'm
for
not.
this-
I'm
yeah.
just.
I'm just.
I hate the word X, but go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead. What was the question?
How long ago did you break up?
We broke up like I think we're hitting 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. I'm saying weird. She definitely doesn't want to talk to me right now.
We have to send her.
Have
the
you
spot.
attempted? Have you done it already? Have you reached out yet?
I like wrote a message. I'll be reaching out quite soon.
Oh, so you drafted a message.
I did, yes.
So you've been putting a lot of thought and care.
I have quite a few ladies on this.
You have quite a few what?
Like I wrote the I first asked ChatGPT. Like I had it ask me questions.
Hold on a second. So
Yeah.
to hold on. This is
Whoa.
groundbreaking.
Elon.
Hold on a second. So
Yeah,
you
go
want to
ahead.
reach out to your ex,
Yeah.
and you first asked ChatGPT for advice.
I just wanted it to like kind of grill me. I wanted it to like ask me questions that I wanted like, okay, like have I ever really thought about this? Like, is this a good idea? So it just gave me all these questions, and then I'm not really good at like structuring messages or even comedy for that. I'm really good. Like I'll like have the ideas and for funny things, and I kind of need people to help me like see the structure, and then it helps me like work within and be more effective. Same thing with that. So I drafted the message. I had it write the message from my responses, and then I had the women in my life look it over. So like my mom I had my mom look it over, and at the same time my cousin and my aunt were on the phone. So it was like 3 ladies, just like my think tank.
What does your mom think about you reaching back?
She's for it. They all really liked her.
They did. Okay.
The whole family. My
Yeah.
mom. It was crazy. They bought her like right before we broke up. They bought a bunch of presents for her.
Really?
My mom was planning to go like Christmas tree shopping with her, and my grandma got like earrings for her. My mom got presents. Like it was like this whole like they like loved her.
And who cut the tie?
That was me.
That was you.
That was me. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it was like whenever I've tried to like I'm a very methodical person, so
Okay.
like whenever I have a decision that I make, like I'll like write down all the reasons,
Okay.
and whenever I wrote down the reasons, they were all murky. Like part of it was like, oh, like I'm like really I was 25 at the time. I was like, I don't know, like it was my first real relationship, my first girlfriend. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like this is a lot. Like I felt like
That was your first love, you think?
first love. I'd say like I've never felt that way about anyone like that.
So
Yeah.
first real love.
I wouldn't say first real love. There was a really like great, very emotionally in-depth relationship that I had when I was in college, towards like the earlier part of my college. But
Yeah.
hers was probably, it was the most emotionally developed and complex relationship that I've had. And complex in a good way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You had nightmares
That's
about
crazy.
her
Nightmare.
starting
You're a
in
good
December.
you're a good podcaster. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And what led to these nightmares? Like, so you said the timeline, if I have this correct, summer 2022. right?
Summer.
Or was it
Yeah, somewhere in there. No, like
Oh.
October.
October?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's gonna. It hasn't been 2 years officially. Then it's
Not
been
yet.
22 months.
22
Yeah.
months.
But last year in December of 2023,
Yeah.
did you just wake up one day thinking about her and you're like, whoa, and then it just kept happening again and again and again, or what led to that? Because dreams come if you unconscious, if you actually think of something. Like they don't just
Yeah.
randomly happen. Sometimes they do, but I think if you consistently are having
Yeah.
a nightmare, like I consistently have a nightmare from college that
What is it, bro?
Bro, my nightmare, I swear to you, it's been coming up to me in all the dreams is I'm failing classes and I'm not going to the classes and I'm showing up to test having no idea what's happening. I swear, bro, and I wake up thinking and I wake up thinking I'm not going to graduate cuz somehow in my dreams it's always the most important class and if I don't get a good grade in it, I'm not going to graduate
And this is
college.
recent?
This has been happening to me, bro, for like ever since I graduated, bro. It happens. It happens like once every 3 months or 4 months.
Oh.
And I know why.
Yeah.
Because in college, towards the end, I wasn't failing a class,
Yeah.
but I had to take the Urdu literacy test. So in my dorm site at USC, you have to take a foreign language test.
Okay.
And for me, it was Urdu. It was easy. I basically, you can't graduate without it.
With that,
So I kept
really?
like delaying it till my last week of college. And if I didn't pass it, I wouldn't be able to graduate. So maybe it's that. That's why. And I also withdrew out of a class that I never showed up to. Like once a month, I would go to this class, and I eventually withdrew from it. But yeah, going back to your point, that's way more interesting. What I'm having is a very nerdy dream. Yours is obviously more emotional.
Okay.
So tell me, why did you start having these nightmares?
I had nightmares where I was like, I think, I don't even know specific. I'll just say this. I had a lot of different types of like nightmares. I had nightmares where like I'd see her and then like she would like, and I'd try and talk to her. I'd like reach out to her and she would be like, I don't want to talk to you. And then like I'd try and grab her and I grabbed her and I was like, oh, and she'd like get even more angry.
Oh shit, bro.
That was like that was bad. And then I'd have like, they'd flip flop because I'd have one where like, oh, she was like, interested in talking, getting back together and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I had another one where she was like getting married. She was like in a traditional, she's Pakistani.
By the way, yeah, what ethnicity?
Holy shit.
She's
Pakistani.
Pakistani. So she has
He
this
picked the right
traditional-
ethnicity on my people.
that was,
We're hard to forget, man. What can we say? We're hard to forget. We're hard to forget. I'm sorry, man.
you're good, bro.
What? so you're just so. I want you to be more descriptive. So I like this description.
ahead.
So in
Yeah.
one of the dreams,
Yeah.
she was wearing a traditional Pakistani,
Yeah.
like shalwar kameez. That's what they wear at wedding. What else? Like you described one moment where you grabbed her and she let go. Where were
She
you
was
guys in
like-
this setting?
I think it was we had a restaurant that we'd go to that was our favorite, and so it was like outside of that.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Okay, so these nightmares started happening December, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're what, 8 months later? 9 months later now?
Yeah, I think so. It was like I was really thinking about reaching out to her, like,
Yeah.
probably like that January or so.
Yeah.
And then I talked about it with my family and everything like that, especially like my aunt and my cousins, and they were all like, "Okay, are you serious? Like, this is gonna happen because we really like her. If you're gonna do this, like you better be ready to get married, basically." So I was like, basically, don't break her heart. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
don't
Don't
like
do it again.
Don't do it
again.
twice.
Don't do it
Right.
twice. Don't be an ass. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's so emotional. He's so
This is
emotional.
a subject we have not talked about on the
You're
podcast
good.
yet.
Yeah,
This is a
check it
very specific subject, and I'm very curious about it. It's giving me a lot of anxiety right now. About this. I'm losing my mind internally.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, what made you want to stop yourself in January? You mentioned your family's
Oh, 100%,
reservations,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, it was your decision. So what made you want to be like, I'm having these nightmares. I can bear some more. And when they get really out of control, I'll reach out. What made you stop in January of this year?
I think I was like I wasn't sure if I was serious enough. I was
Okay.
like, am I like ready to
Yeah.
settle down? Like that to me was like like a thought. I was like, I don't know. And so when I really thought about it, I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. And so I think like the nightmares kept happening.
The nightmares kept happening.
It kept happening.
And then probably like.
Did they
go
keep
ahead.
getting worse and worse?
No, they were just like back and forth.
Okay.
Eventually they stopped. Probably like maybe like April or something like that.
Okay.
He's gonna have one tonight for
So
sure.
wait, hold
No,
on.
it's-
So this feeling,
This
is it like pent up now? Like it's like fuck. It's either yes or no. Like I gotta make a
It's-
decision.
No, I'm pretty good with difficult decisions. I'm definitely an overthinker, so it takes
Yeah.
me a while to come to a decision. Like this,
Okay.
I flip flop for like I don't know how long, like for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
But when I make a decision, like even reaching out to her, like I have this. I always make decisions where I know that I'm never gonna make the right. Like I never know. I don't have all the information. I have a guru. He always says that. He's like, you
Okay.
make a decision based off the data that you have, and it's always incomplete. Is what he says. So you make the best decision that you can, and I'm okay with her rejecting me, and I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with not saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with not reaching out, putting myself on the line and not taking that jump.
Okay.
So for me, it's like I still have a lot of feelings for this girl, and I'm gonna put myself out there, and then I'll be okay no
Yeah.
matter what.
So if you will, you need some closure.
I'd
Either
say
acceptance or closure.
In some, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Well, best of luck, buddy.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you think that if she says no, you'll be more at peace, or do you think the nightmares will finally stop, or
I
is
don't
that
think they'll
gonna?
stop,
Mm.
but I think I will definitely feel more at peace.
Mm.
Just like I did everything that I could, with where I am,
Yeah.
and I talked to the people I needed to talk to, I processed it the way I needed it to. I'm doing this with the best intentions that I can have, and at the end of the day, like I can let go after that. Same thing on stage. It's like you practice as much as you can, you
Mm.
write as much as you can, you go to mics as much as you can, and then when you get on stage, you just kind of have to let go and be like, trust yourself to be able to make the right decisions, or just there's something beyond myself that I have to trust in.
Did you have like valid reasons to break up?
Tough question.
I think it depends on your point of view.
In your point of view.
In my point of view,
Yeah.
like, do I regret it?
Oh, I think you kind of regret it now, right? In a way.
I don't.
Oh, you
actually.
don't.
No,
Okay.
I don't regret it because, like, for me, it was the right decision for me at that time.
Mm.
Really?
Like, I don't think I was.
Yeah.
Look, if I had just committed, I think there would always been this point of view for me.
I
that,
see.
Like,
Okay.
oh, like, is this the right move? Like, am I ready? Like,
Oh my God. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
and so, like, after doing that, it
Yeah.
allowed me to come back to this place where, like, oh no, I'm ready for like something
Yeah.
serious.
Have you been in contact with her at all for the last 2 years?
No,
Not at all.
no.
But you've grown as a person a lot the last 2 years, right?
It depends on who you ask. If
But no,
ask
you
my
you
mom-
committed to comedy for a long, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're
I-
taking it very seriously.
it's-
You've done it over 100 times at least, right? In the last
Oh
year,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
probably over 200 times. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you've gone pretty much all in on comedy.
As much as I can. Yeah.
Do you think that's helped you process that?
I'm just a very open person. Everyone in my family, like literally, we were having a family gathering, and like my grandma was there. She was like, what is your decision?" Like my grandparents, like my
Wow.
great aunts, like all the cousins, everybody was talking about it. And I'm a lot more mature now, where I know that that's not helpful for me. Where like I've processed it as much as I can. This is just gonna open a wound. It's not gonna be helpful, so I just like shut it down.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like everyone knows. Everyone in Iran
my
knows
God,
too.
don't-
Everyone in Iran
I swear to
knows.
God, they were bringing her up, bro. My great aunt, was like, "Oh, like how's the girl or whatever?" And then like she, I was like, "Oh fuck."
Have they met her?
Oh,
Have you taken her over there?
Edit that out.
can you?
Anyway.
Okay.
We don't really do edits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Everything.
don't worry.
We're taking good care of you right
Yeah.
now.
You're
Okay.
good, bro.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
This
yeah.
is a safe environment. Okay,
This
we're
is
at
a safe
Paladude's
space.
warehouse.
Okay.
Paladude's warehouse. We have
What
these
happens at
walls.
Paladude stays in Paladude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the internet.
Except for the 1 billion people watching this right now. No.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
comedy has been a net positive for you in that regard, or no? Or is
With
that
relationships?
yeah, like, or is that more complex, that relationship?
I don't think it's. Maybe I'm more lighthearted as a person. I'm trying to be a lot more lighthearted and taste things. Like, sure, there's a time and a place, and you definitely need to be careful when you're lighthearted. At least, especially when I'm so inexperienced. Like, I'll make a joke that's not socially appropriate, and it's not appropriate in the time. So, I'd say I'm more lighthearted, and it's helped me get better at my other relationships. Like my relationship with my mother is a lot better because of comedy.
Wow.
I think it's allowed me to be a lot more introspective about my own life and how I am as a person, and to try and find the lighter and more funny angles of myself. So, but I wouldn't say it's affected my relationships like that.
So being socially inappropriate in comedy, does that make you uncomfortable?
Oh, 100%.
Why?
I'm terrified of saying the wrong thing. I think I really care about what other people think, and I think growing up, in our day, in our culture, like saying anything that's not, I don't know how to say it, but just like
Conventional
or appropriate, whether it's like LGBTQ, Blacks' rights, women's rights, anything like that. Like, that to me gets, I'm really insecure about, like, pushing people's buttons or like saying something that offends somebody. I think people thinking that I'm a bad person. Oh, I'm a bad person, like emotionally, or I'm not or I'm evil in some way or shape or form. Like, that emotionally, like, really triggers me.
Why do you care?
Why do I care?
Yeah.
I think it's probably something like when I was a kid, just like the way I grew up, just I was always worried about being like a quote unquote like bad person. Like, the way that even my friend who was living with us for a while in the summer, he had a friend over, and he came over to drop him by and just to say hi, and I invited him in. And, I had other things that I wanted to do, but, hosted him, we sure that we all had fun, that he felt welcome, my family was there, we had a good time with each other. I don't know if I had to do that, but, like, the reason why I did that emotionally was because I was scared I'm a bad person if I don't do that.
Interesting.
If I don't do this for this person, I'm a bad person because I'm not, like, taking care of them. I don't know. It's the Persian inside of me, probably.
So it's both internal and external. Internally, you don't want to feel like you are offending someone. And then externally, you don't want the reputation that you're hurting somebody. So do you think it goes both ways, or is it more so internal? It's like an internal struggle.
I say both.
Both.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's a different point, though, because I think the point of that is these are people somewhat in your inner circle, right? Like your buddy that was staying with you, he brought his friend over, right? So that's kind of in your inner circle. And so I think, maybe there is some responsibility to come into your house and like you have a good time. But when it's for comedy or like for like the normal society, they don't know you. Like, they don't know you.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? And you're probably never going to see them again, right? So it's just, I think, in my opinion, so I think I'm almost the opposite, except when it comes to like the friend thing. I think that makes more sense to me. But in terms of like how society like views me, I will, like, these guys can attest to it. I don't care what I say, like, in front of people. I'll say whatever it is. We'll be at lunch sometimes, dinner, and like he's told me before, like, bro, like, pipe down. It's just because.
Pipe down?
Well,
hold on, I haven't said that. Fake news. I've said calm down, not pipe down. I have never said that to this guy.
You that?
No.
Pipe it down, bro. I don't even pipe it down on you.
Pipe it down.
You never heard that? Pipe down?
I have, bro, but I've never said you pipe down. Continue, though.
Elon is not happy with you. Right now.
You're good. You're good.
Look at him. He's
so you don't care what other people have to say about you.
Yeah, my point is, like, I think the more you care about what other people think, the more you're going to be in your head. And the more you're in your head, it's like it takes up time, right? It takes up space, takes up energy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's my opinion. It doesn't matter, right, to you or not. But if you learn to let go of like that feeling, which is fucking difficult, which I get, but letting go, man, it's alleviating.
I'm guilty of this. Like I don't think I'm obsessed about what other people think of me, but I definitely it's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And I think it's sometimes it can be healthy if you approach it in the way that if somebody says something discouraging to you, you use it as fuel, right, to be your best version. But that
How does that relate?
But because if you are wanting to prove something that is wrong, right, about what the other person perceives of you, that can drive you. You know what I'm saying or no? For example, let's say I'm doing comedy.
Yeah.
And somebody that I really care about goes to the show.
Yeah.
And after the show, they're like, dude, that was terrible. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Quit doing comedy. Stop it. Now, I can either discard that entirely or consider it and be like, you know what? I'm going to prove this person wrong. That means I did care about what they said, but I used it as fuel to just get better.
Okay,
I'm not saying that should be the primary.
That's a bit of a different point, though, because I'm just going to say with your example,
yeah,
it's somebody you care about, right? So, like, with somebody you care about, of course, their motive is probably trying to help you, right? So
I think
you know
vice versa. In my example, I'll even say a random person.
Yeah.
You're
going to use that as fuel?
Not as fuel, but at the gym, like, I'll think of this person's goddamn face and, like, do an extra set of pull-ups.
I don't know if that's healthy, bro.
I'll do that for sure. I don't know. So,
and the other thing is be adaptable. Of course, if people are going to say their opinion, take it with a grain of salt, and you're like, yeah, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, who gives a fuck? Fuck them.
Yeah, but the thing is, if somebody is saying that with a straight face, somebody random is being so critical of my comedy, it's going to be in the back of my mind, bro. I'm like, what made this person say that?
Yeah, but what do they know more than you?
True, you're right.
Know much more than
you're
you.
definitely, I would rather lean towards you, right? Like, who cares? Screw them, right? Like, who the hell are they to say anything? But I don't know, man. I just look for little things. The way I function is primarily my motivation comes internally. But the moment anybody says something discouraging to me, I just flip internally,
I'm
bro.
very aware.
My mind literally goes like full Michael Jordan mode internally. I'm like, you know what? Today I'm gonna write for like 2 hours and just prove. I just think of this person for a long time. Thank God this specific thing hasn't happened to me.
Yeah.
But I have one example. The closest thing that's ever happened to me like that is I did a show.
I have another example of you.
I did a show on December 15, 2023. I'll never forget this day.
Yeah.
I invited my sister and her 2 friends.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I'm gonna kill. Like I'm like, you know, I'm gonna kill, and I bombed that day. I think I've told you this. Only one person laughed, a Mexican dude, because I made a Mexican joke, and thank God he got it.
Sir.
But that's the only person that laughed the entire show. And at the end of it, I tried to do crowd work in the beginning with these 2 brothers.
Yeah.
I was just being a coward, bro. I wasn't like making fun of them like I wanted to. I wanted to like say all sorts of stuff, but I just didn't. I filtered myself.
Right.
And that was where I messed up. I was like, oh, what if these guys like think something of me? At the end of the show, this guy, I go up to him, and I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, I was trying to pick on you guys, and then he doesn't shake my hand. I went in for my hand, and he just fist bumps me, and he's like, work on it. And I looked him in the eyes just for a second. And I was like, did this mother trucker just tell me work on it? I looked at him. I was like, all right, you know what? All right. And to this day, I think of that stupid piece of shit. I do think of him.
That
God,
was the most
I do.
innocuous.
Yeah.
I do. No, I don't. Saying, but he said it with such a stern face. Like he was just saying it like.
Yeah, bro. You also internalize other people's like words, bro. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story.
What story? Hold on. What story is it?
7th grade.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
How long have you guys known each other?
Seventh grade.
Since like 11 years. Yeah, this was one of the first guys I met.
Yeah.
When I came from
So
Pakistan.
he came from Pakistan, 7th grade, right? Okay, I mean, I don't know this guy, and I've talked about this on the pod a little bit. I guess when I was younger, I came off more arrogant than I should have, right? So I met this guy. We're in a history class. We're walking, and he's saying that he's gonna apply to Whitney. Which I don't know if you know what Whitney is, but it's like one of the top 20 schools in America, right?
Okay.
And so it's
middle school and high school.
It's a middle school and high school. It's in our district, and it's like the top of the top go to Whitney, right? And so he's talking about, I'm like, you're not gonna get in, and I don't remember this. He mentioned this to me last year. I don't remember any of this. He was like, can I tell you something, dude? He was like, I've never told you this, but and then he was telling me, and so in his head though, he was like, "This guy really said I can't get in." He says, "Screw him. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him." Bro, I met this guy for like less than a month, and then he left to Ross, which is another middle school. But
I didn't leave because of that, by the way. But
No,
yeah,
but- yeah,
No,
like-
but this guy said you said something. You
What'd I
said
say?
I couldn't get in. How are you gonna get in, or something along those lines? And
yeah,
I was
maybe,
like,
yeah, yeah.
whoa,
Wow.
hold
He
on
really
a
does
second.
remember
Yeah,
this.
he
Yeah,
said.
that's what I'm saying.
No, I remember
You didn't
that.
say that. You said that.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, I don't forget what people say to me. Like, that's a weakness of mine. I'm working on it. But yeah, if somebody says something discouraging to me, in a funny way, I'll let it go. But if somebody's like semi-serious, it'll be in the back of my mind. Like, I don't forget the things people say to me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Michael
My
Jordan.
future wife, don't ever
I've
say
said
anything
lots of things to
discouraging.
you. I've said lots
No,
of
but
things to you.
you're a bum. Like, I don't take anything you say seriously. This guy. No.
One thing you should take very seriously me is your driving abilities.
I got us safe from Costa. I drove for 6 hours. I'm a hero. I'm a champion.
He's not
in
a
Costa
hero.
Rica.
So
funny, bro.
me, him, he told you about this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Hold on,
So-
before you go. Hey, is his angle good? His posture, like it's not cutting off the angle. He's good. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure. Huh? It is cutting. It's
funny.
funny, yeah. He looks like he's 7
Crisscross
feet right now.
applesauce.
He looks like an NBA player compared to you, bro, right now.
It was just
That's great posture. I wish I
There
could
you
have
go, man.
that.
working on it.
Work on your posture?
Working on it, yeah.
Really?
Huh?
Why your posture?
It just connects to the way that I walk too.
Oh.
Well, because think about it, like how your muscles
Yeah.
retain whatever position that they're in.
Yeah.
So you're sitting most of the day.
Yeah.
You're sitting more than you sleep actually. So if you don't have good posture when you're sitting, it affects your actual posture.
Oh wow. I
Oh,
guess I
man.
should think about my posture more.
No, you're right, bro. It
Yeah.
affects you. It does.
You work on your posture.
I do. I
Yeah.
try to. I have to.
When he's typing, he'll be like,
That's so funny.
and then he'll start typing.
I don't do anything
I-
like
trust
that.
Trust me,
What?
I'm a very
I stretch a
observational
lot.
person.
I stretch a lot.
He's like, he literally like there's a warm.
That makes it seem like I'm a woman or something. Like I'm fixing up my.
Well, that's how
chest
you
or
do. I'm
something,
not saying
bro.
you're a
What?
woman, but that's what you do, bro. That's just what you do, man.
But do you think having a good posture helps you?
Does
like,
crisscross applesauce help?
it's just it's just the way that this chair is like.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the like.
It's uncomfortable, right?
It's not uncomfortable.
No, you
it's
can be
just, like,
honest because we're trying to change the setup.
No, he's
Please
trying
say
to
it.
change this-
It's
the
uncomfortable,
setup.
right?
when you.
It's terrible.
It's not uncomfortable. No, it's just this is the only way that I can sit up straight easy.
Okay.
It's like this is the least.
yeah,
amount-
because it's a lot of like.
if I try
room.
and sit like this is really hard to sit up straight.
Mm.
If I like sit back, like as soon as you have your butt in the crease,
Yeah.
it's like 2% of the effort that you need to actually sit up straight.
Okay.
When did you realize the need for good posture?
I just liked having good posture.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I have to force myself to have good posture all this time. And I realized, oh no, I'm like.
Yeah, you do. I saw the angle, bro.
Really?
It's
That's
dude, it's insane. But amazing. I want him to
Yeah.
look small.
Yeah.
Great. Go ahead. I'm now thinking about the 7th grade
Actually,
comment.
I'm gonna now stand, buddy. Elon, you look like Elon, bro. 6'4".
He does look like Elon, right?
Elon-
A little bit. A little.
Well,
bit.
Elon's 6 foot. How tall? are
No, Elon
guys
is not.
have-
Elon is not
where-
6'4".
I do not look like Elon Musk at all.
You do, 100%.
Not at all.
You do
you? A little bit.
a little bit. Elon Musk.
Not at all.
You look like it's
Actually,
a compliment.
Well, it's a good thing right now
It's a
because
good
he has
thing.
like good hair. You have good hair, man. When he was
You have
your age,
great
he had
hair.
no hair.
For now, huh?
He had no hair
He
when he was
did
your
not have
age.
hair, yeah,
So
that's
there you
true.
go, man. You didn't need the what is it called? The hair implants.
He got a transplant. though.
Transplant. There you go.
Yeah,
hair
he didn't get an
transplant.
implant.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy has great hair though compared to Elon.
Naturally, man.
Do you like Elon Musk?
Do I like Elon
Yeah,
Musk?
that's a compliment in my opinion.
Mixed.
Mixed.
Yeah, I'd say mixed.
What about him do you not like?
Um,
There you go, man.
that's funny, bro.
You don't look like him.
That's
Pull up modern day Elon.
Modern day Elon. Modern day Elon's, huh?
Yeah.
I really like I really like, all the stuff that he's doing is contributing to, okay, maybe not everything, but like, SpaceX, Tesla, all these things are like pretty good. Solar,
Yeah.
all these things are like pretty good efforts that are like net positive for the world. I just don't know if I agree with like certain things. Like I was on Twitter. I've never been on Twitter before. Like I don't have an account. So I just joined one as a comedian. I thought like, oh, being a part of pop culture and, being on the pulse is important. But like the first thing that it said, oh, recommended follows was Elon Musk.
Mm.
I was like, bro,
Well, he owns X, so it
He
makes
does,
sense.
but like, why do you need to do that? Like, you have the most followers on Twitter. First of all, I don't buy that you have the most followers on Twitter. That is
Maybe
think it's
they
a little
analyzed
fake?
your face
Huh?
and they're like, well, this is a comparable.
maybe. I don't know. I didn't even have photos.
So you think he must have some fake followers on
I
Twitter?
think so.
Really?
Like, well, first of all, Mark Zuckerberg I was working on a bit on this actually, but like Mark Zuckerberg has like 14,000 followers when he first had Instagram, 14 million, and now he still has 14 million. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he bought Instagram had no real benefit to his amount of followers. And the same thing with Elon, where it's like, bro, you got like 500 million followers.
No.
Like a lot of followers, like 200 million
Holy
followers.
crap.
He has a
Within
lot.
the last two, he's the most followed person on Twitter. I don't buy that.
Well, there's reasons for that, right? Like Mark isn't like posting about Dogecoin, and like he isn't posting about extraterrestrial lands and Mars, and he's not like.
That's true.
So it makes sense why Elon has so many, because he's very
200
insane.
million
I
is
don't know.
insane.
I don't know if he's the most though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's the most, but what do I know?
Well, good for
You know what I
Elon,
mean?
man.
I'm a
Elon, if you want to come on the Gen Z Speaks podcast, you are welcome to come anytime.
Downey, California, baby.
We'll ask you tough questions, but fair questions.
Yep.
Tough but fair.
about,
Like Don Lemon.
about your nightmares and your exes.
Yeah, I actually would ask him about, because he's had, what, 3 ex-wives?
Oh my god.
I'd be interested in knowing.
More
Yeah.
Or-
that's not even all the relationships with his
Yeah, it's not even
Yeah.
all.
But yeah,
I don't know how he functions.
he says he doesn't.
He doesn't
want to be
Yeah.
him.
He doesn't want to be
He said you wouldn't want to be him.
right.
Yeah.
I have heard. him
They
say
all
that.
left him, obviously, because he's probably.
They
like-
all left him.
Yeah, he's
I
like.
don't
a
believe
sec-
that.
I think so. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, except Grimes. I don't know what the deal is with that. 'Cause that was like a. I don't know what the deal is with Grimes, but yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if people want to hear our thoughts on
Elon Musk.
Elon.
Yeah. I do want to ask you though
Yeah.
about the nightmares. Not to
Go
continue
ahead, I
on,
don't care.
but I'm
That's
just.
fine.
I'm really.
I've already messed up. I've already messed up this already.
I don't know how I got these
It's not that
scars.
bad,
That- I shouldn't have said her name.
We'll try our best to
Go
do
ahead,
something
go
about the
ahead.
name. We can't guarantee, but
Go ahead.
it's up to
We won't
this
clip
guy.
it.
Go ahead.
Because no, we're not gonna.
We won't
That
clip
would
it.
be horrible. Go ahead.
No, we're not gonna do that. Hey, you know what? Hold on a second. Since we've gone off the rails, I have a very important question,
Go ahead.
an opportunity to give you.
Feel free.
If the person that you still have feelings for is
Yes.
listening to the podcast right now,
Yes.
what is something you want to say to this person? It's up to you. You can
I
say no
don't-
comment. You can say
I would say no comment.
Okay.
I've said what I need to say in this message.
There you go.
Yeah.
that's awesome. man.
I think it was appropriate. I think she's gonna appreciate it and
Yeah.
you know
Message. We'll see. We'll see.
scurry back.
Maybe she's moved on. Maybe she has a boyfriend. Maybe all these.
Do you think
Oh,
about
you know nothing about what's happening.
Let's say I did. I took an educated guess.
Okay.
That she's probably
Single.
single.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll leave it
probably with the asterisk? mark.
Probably.
No, I wouldn't reach out to
Probably.
her if she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be.
Yeah,
That'd
that's the
be- that'd
right
be
thing to
messed
do.
up.
That's respectful. So, but your intention is to marry her, correct? Or
That would be. I'm serious.
You're
about-
serious.
wherever it goes is wherever it goes.
That initial conversation is gonna, I think, set it.
We'll see.
Set it
Maybe
up.
she'll just ignore the message. That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
Or maybe she, grab lunch at your favorite place again.
This is gonna be trauma there, so I'm somewhere else probably.
you're traumatized from that.
Am I traumatized?
Yeah.
Is
I
that where it
wouldn't say I'm
happened? The breakup?
traumatized. No,
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't there. No, I was. I wiki how to break up.
Really?
I did.
And you listened to
Googled.
it?
Because I'm a perfectionist. I'm trying to figure out like the best. I swear to God. Anytime.
Elon.
Anytime I do something like
That's
I,
how Elon move, bro. That is.
I tried to make sure like
Chat, how do I break up? Chat, give me advice.
I did
Interesting. Okay, so what did they tell you the right way
Yeah.
was?
the right way.
Yeah, what is the right way to?
They said do it in a place do it in a place where it's away from public eye, in a safe space. Do it in a way where a lot of people break up but they like leave it open. They're like, oh, not right now or something like that. So just cut it off. Like, completely say like there's I don't see a future, whatever it is.
Sheesh.
You're doing their point of view is like you're doing it for them so that they can move on. You don't want, if you think about
I see.
if you want to be selfless about it,
Yeah.
you have to do it that way. And then to do it in person, talk about like how you feel and everything like that. But
So what did you say to make her, if you don't mind saying, to make her feel like it was for her benefit?
I did. She definitely didn't think it was for her
Yeah.
benefit.
Because at the moment you don't think that, right? Because you're going through a rush of emotions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense why she didn't think that. But
Yeah. So it was. I'll just.
Yeah, you don't have to say
I know you're
details,
good. You're
bro.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was just like it was a tough conversation. I'm just glad that They say to do it in person,
Yeah,
and so I definitely did it. I did it in person like twice, and like I personally cried the second
Yeah.
time. So like I was bawling and everything like that, and so like that went a long way to showing her how much I cared, because everyone gets insecure. Like
Yeah.
when I got broken up with like a few times, where it was like I got really insecure about like what does it mean about me, like am I not enough, all this stuff. So like it went a long ways to showing like you can't fake that. At least I couldn't fake that. So
How long were you guys together?
about a year.
A year.
About a year.
Oh, wow. Interesting, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first year, that's like the year to get to know somebody as well, right? And then the
Yeah.
second year is kind of like you're used to them, and then third is like that's when you decide where you solidify or not.
or you could just marry within the first month and
Like
take
this
it
guy
from
plans
there.
to do.
Hold on, I don't plan to do first month. I'm just
This guy
saying it.
plans to. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, I plan to marry. Hopefully, God willing. But
He wants to
I-
marry within the next 3 months.
whoa,
And he doesn't
whoa,
have a
whoa,
prospect yet.
whoa,
Does that have a
Whoa.
prospect yet?
Not yet.
Look at this man.
Talk about a
no.
guy who has a prospect, who
You do have a
wants to
prospect.
get married. Not a prospect. He has somebody who
I'm in a relationship.
who he loves. Who he loves exactly. He loves this girl. And
How many
this-
months?
Years.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2
Not
years.
months,
Oh my
years.
God. Yeah.
How long did it take before you said I love you?
It took. Good question, buddy.
Great question. Let's
Um,
talk about him now.
Yeah, you're good, man.
I
We'll
love
talk about
this.
you next.
I
Don't
love
worry
this.
about it. We'll
No,
talk
no.
about you next.
Very good.
September it was like girlfriend boyfriend we
Okay.
called it, and then end of December
How long did it take to get to boyfriend girlfriend?
it took 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
4 months.
which she
Four,
was like, yeah,
Was that your call or was that her call?
my call.
Okay, so she
Yeah.
wanted to be exclusive early.
Yeah,
and then you
she didn't say it, but you know when you
okay.
know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't want to. I don't want to jump into a decision. I mean, within that time, I've seen multiple girls, but I never called it because I didn't feel it right. So I just wanted to be certain.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will give you credit for doing it in person.
Yeah.
Because that takes
balls. Yeah.
that.
It's
That
not
takes-
better. It's not better.
No,
No,
but
it's
but
hard,
you,
but-
that was a hard thing to do. That's the more bold thing
Yeah.
to do. The cowardly thing would have been to not do it in person, but you did it in person, and to your credit, like that's the hard thing to do. So
Yeah.
not a lot of people can do that. A lot of people don't have that boldness to them.
I was
Most
a little dumb though. I will say that. It was like
It was your first time, right?
Breaking up? Oh, it was your first time breaking up with somebody?
never. Yeah.
Yeah, because he googled it
Interesting.
literally 101 how to break up with
Oh,
someone.
You could have done that before. You could have done that 10 years ago.
Could've, yeah.
Interesting.
So
So, in terms of,
I personally blindsided her.
Blindsided.
It was blindsided.
So you were thinking about it, and she was all in awe.
She
Still.
it came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere.
Oh,
So that was yes. Look at Russ. Russ, you're so invested. you can't see this, but Russ is shaking his head the entire time. He's palming his face. He's right now. He's holding his hands to his eyes. He's like, what?
yeah, this is the most attention this guy's ever paid at a podcast. I gots to.
No, but yeah. I had a therapist at the time. 3 months before that happened, she floated this question. She's like, "How serious are you about with this girl?" And
God,
so
the therapist.
so she floats this thing to me, and I'm like, and I was like, I don't. She's like, if you're not serious about this, you should probably break up with her.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about it, and then like maybe a month goes by, and I'm like, I don't like. I was like, I wasn't really thinking about it, and then probably like 2 months in, I was like talking to people, thinking about it, like, am I ready to get married and all this stuff. 3 months in, like I'm like writing the pros and cons and everything like that. Googling how to break up with your girlfriend.
He's getting his training.
Yeah. And then like I actually cried a lot right before it happened. It was
Before it happened,
yeah,
you cried.
lot.
That makes sense. Yeah.
a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
I was like, I went on these like I'd do these retreats and like where I was alone and I'd go camping and everything like that. And
So
like,
by yourself, you go on retreats?
yeah, on my streets.
Oh, interesting.
And so as I was driving there, I kind of made the decision, and like I just bawled my eyes out for like it was like 2 or 3 times.
So potentially weren't even ready for this.
I mean emotionally it was a lot. I care a lot about her.
Are you speaking from experience, Russell?
Why are you saying that, Russell?
It was
Russell says that you can never be ready for a breakup.
it was a lot.
Russell
You don't
is
think
gonna
so?
be the first one on the podcast to get married.
Yeah, probably.
22-year-old Filipino
He's
man will be
definitely the
married.
I love
He's definitely the fastest mover in a relationship.
I will say, I would love for you to get married to this girl because the world needs more Pakistanis. The world needs more of us to
You're not
compete
gonna-
with India. We do
let's-
need more of us. So
okay, you want Pakistanis or they're not gonna look at all. They're gonna look
no, they're gonna look Pakistani.
They're not gonna look
Because look, you're half Iranian, right?
Yeah.
And half Japanese.
Yeah.
So Iranian people look similar to Pakistani people, not alike, but similar.
They're gonna look the
Not
most
really.
they're gonna look like the most confusing little babies ever.
But technically,
If that
they'll be
happened.
more Pakistani. They'll identify as Pakistani. So
Okay.
I'm
Well, yeah,
making-
they'll be more
yeah, because they're 50.
Is she Muslim?
She is Muslim.
Are you gonna raise her?
Hold on a second. Well, that's what I mean.
What's wrong with that?
No. I mean, he turned red when you said that.
Are you Christian or what are you?
No.
Or you're just you don't identify?
I
religion?
not no. I
Why are we
don't
saying
believe it.
identify so much on this podcast?
We haven't.
Not like
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, at first and then.
But yeah, I.
Do you believe in Shinto?
No.
No.
I don't
Just
say-
fucking around.
I don't know if I believe in. I am. I listened to this this guru I was telling you about, and he does.
The
I
one your
guess
dad listens
Vedic. Yeah, the philosophy that he teaches is based on the Vedic text. It's almost religious. They believe in God or that idea that there's something higher. It's just different from what you and I think.
So what you're telling me is you want to convert to Islam anytime. Is what I'm hearing right now. What if this girl
Yeah.
asks you that question?
To convert?
Yeah.
Not this any girl.
Would I convert?
Yeah.
Yeah, any girl. I don't want
Ask
to put
you to
the
convert.
whole
Doesn't
pressure
mean
on this.
Muslim. It could be Hindu.
Yeah, it could be
anything.
any. Let's say you marry somebody, whatever religious denomination they are,
Yeah.
and if they ask you the question, "Can you convert?" What would your response be to that?
I'll think about it. I don't know.
Interesting.
What if they were like Jehovah's Witness?
I don't
Or
know.
Mormon.
I'm not sure.
So he's open to it. Okay, that's a fair answer.
I would say
We made-
no Jehovah's.
We have like a whole short film we made.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still
It's still in the
in
works.
post production. I mean, it's been done,
Yeah.
but we're just making some
That's
minor
solid.
adjustments.
Yeah.
But there's this one line we wrote in the film that
Yeah.
reminded me of this conversation, and the line is, I think Marie's character says
Okay.
it. Remember what she says? Once you love somebody, you just want to be one with them.
Yeah.
That's the line. So this girl is giving advice to her brother-in-law, and he's going through a breakup of sorts,
Yeah.
and she's telling him, I understand you. Like, once you love somebody, you just want to be one with them. You want to do everything with them.
Yeah.
And so I understand the concept of love.
And there's another line in
Like-
the movie where one of the characters says, "Once she's been with someone else after the breakup, she's not yours."
That's his character. His character says in the film that. But as you were talking to me, man, about your experience, and thank you for sharing, I just thought, like, isn't it so powerful that you could love somebody that they could affect you, like a stranger, right? Because you didn't know her before, you didn't grow up with her, you met her in college, right? It's so powerful that you can meet somebody and love somebody and develop these feelings for someone
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
to that extent.
crazy.
I just think
3
that
months in, I was gone.
wow, I just think
2
it's so
months,
powerful.
probably.
I just think it's so powerful that if you can develop feelings for somebody in a short window of time
Yeah.
and potentially never forget about them.
I don't know about that. I think it's pretty. It's human nature.
I just think it's powerful. No, I'm not saying about
It's
you. I'm
just
just
a
saying in
trip 'cause
general.
You could have not met her, right? It could have been somebody else. She's
been.
just a random person
Yeah.
that came into your life, and now you've like developed some emotional attachment, right? There's
That's
something
true.
between you guys. It's a
Just
trip.
the idea that two random people fall in love so quickly, any man and woman,
Yeah.
and it's just fascinating to me that they have such a deep emotional effect on each other that they have nightmares about them. Like, they can be good or bad,
That's true.
right? I just think it's a powerful thing. We should
Yeah.
do like
Well,
the psychology of
what do you guys
love.
think of? What do you think about that? I feel like it's such a triggering word, love. Like what does that mean for you guys? Like when you say I love you to your
Yeah.
girlfriend the first time, or you for that matter. I don't know if you guys have, but you have.
I'll
actually.
defer to you.
Definitely
I'll defer
him,
to you.
yeah.
I'll defer to you.
Like what did that mean when you said like what was the what came with it?
I'm a very like honest person. I'm like it how you see me is how I am kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So if I say something, there's weight behind it.
Okay.
So the reason it took me a while, it took me like I said 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Stuck for a lot.
What's that? What is it?
Russ gets it.
What do you say?
Stuck for a lot.
Stuck for a lot. What's that
Every
about?
Muslim person got the joke.
What is it? What is it? Say it.
It basically you say it when like somebody's not supposed to do that. Like it's like they mess up. Like I stuck. Like if a Muslim does something haram, you're like I stuck for Allah. Like when you don't do that.
I've had
So the
plenty of times to tell you that. I just didn't know about that.
I stuck for
phrase.
Allah.
Yeah.
You've heard me say that, right?
No, never actually.
Never?
No.
Oh.
What I'm saying is I should have told you that many
Oh,
times.
stuck for
Many
Allah.
times.
Continue.
So what I'm saying, I'm a very like straightforward person. So I'm not gonna say something if I don't mean it.
Mm.
So there has to be weight to what I'm saying, and I have to have like thought about it extensively.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it just means that I'm willing to, more or less like give my life for this person, whether it's a girlfriend or like family member or friend. And, like that to me, it takes it to that physical level. Like I'm willing to like jump in front like of a bullet for you, that type of thing.
I sacrificed my life for her.
This guy will sacrifice his
I
life for
sacrificed my
Pakistan.
life. For
This
her.
guy will sacrifice his life for Pakistan. That's the
Have
the
you
truth.
seen that video? Of those
Oh, you never
kids?
seen that?
Like that.
Oh, so it's basically this school. I mean, it's
No, stop. This is opening up a whole window. You
Okay.
can talk if you get back with her. She must know about that video. If you ask her,
Okay.
did kids around you ever
Be
want
her.
to
He
be
can look it up
pilots?
himself, bro. What
No,
the
I just think it's
fuck?
more funny. It'll be more funny
Why?
because she's Pakistani. Like she understand the joke.
He's gonna understand the joke.
No, it'll just be more like I don't know. Regardless, great question that you asked.
What
what
does
does
it-
love mean to
what does
you?
it trigger
Yeah.
For me, I think love is.
When's the
very
first time
complex.
you've said "I love you" to a person not in your
I say
family?
especially
I have not
significant
said that.
other. So
Yeah.
specifically significant.
Significant other, like
I have never. I'm completely honest.
No, you're good.
Honest truth. I've never said I love you to a girl.
you never
I've
said.
never said that. I've only said that in a film I did, in a short film I made. So
Yeah,
I've never,
which-
no, literally, I've done it. But I'm just telling
Brother.
you, brother.
That's incognito. Come on, man.
But I just think, man, you know, as we were
But
talking,
this man
bro,
wants
we-
to get married. He's done.
yeah, he's
me
not-
and
he's
him
not
have talked
dating.
about this a lot, bro. And my perspective on
Yeah.
this is solidifying more and more.
Mhm.
But this whole concept of relationships and dating back and forth, seeing people, this, that, exclusivity, open, whatever, it's just all nonsense to me. I feel like if you are in a relationship with someone, not in a relationship, if you meet a woman, let's say for us, for young men
Yeah.
out there, I'll speak on behalf of us because I represent all you guys.
You do not
If you
represent
meet-
me. I'm gonna make that clear.
If you meet a woman that you like and you could see a future with, take the leap and marry this person. And it's just that's what it. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
I think you're a different person than most people.
No, everybody's like me. All this. Every single circumstance
so
can be generalized.
The thing is, right, like, the more ideas come into fruition, it's because of experiences that you've had, right? So he's now of the belief that it's okay to grow into love. Most people feel like
Oh,
they need
that's
to fall
interesting.
into love, and then they
Mm.
can marry.
Yeah.
He's okay with marrying and then loving them on the way into. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's a very Eastern way of thinking about
It's
marriage.
I
very
mean,
Eastern
look,
way,
I
yeah.
don't think I'm there. I'm not gonna be like, yo, like it's gonna take me 10 years after I marry
Have you
my
heard
wife.
this guy? He's like, I'm a converter.
Yeah.
I was like, is he Pakistani? And he's like, I was like, okay, so you're dating a Pakistani girl? It's like, nah, like, you know, she could be anything. No, like, what if she's not Muslim? It's like,
Stuck
I'm
for a lot. No,
converter.
I don't think I'm. We've talked about this. Me and Matt have talked about this. The concept of converting somebody,
Yeah.
and the problem with that, man, is it'll only work. And this is from what I've seen in my family and whatnot. Not just family, like friends as well in my community. The only way marriage will work if you convert the other person is if they truly believe in it. If they do it for you, it's your marriage is going to have that red flag pinned on from the very beginning. Like if a couple, one of you convert the other person just for the sake of marriage, just so you could be with them, in my opinion, that is not the most healthy way to start a marriage. And the person should convert for you religiously if they truly believe in that religious doctrine. And the thing is, not 9 times out of 10, but majority of the time, because this person loves you so much, they'll do it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
But
What's
they're-
the
but
problem
they're
with just not
conflating.
believing in it?
But the thing is, because what are you doing that for? Then just don't do it. Then be bold
get
enough to
married.
express. No, just be bold enough to be like, if you really want to be with me, don't convert me. And that's my like that. I'm not gonna
What if it's
convert.
for like the family or something like that?
I just think like the thing is, I just think it's fake, right? Like if you're just signing a document or something that says you identify as this, just so somebody could accept you, you're being forced into doing that. So if you really want to be with this person and you're interested in their faith, I'm not saying not to convert. By all means, convert, but do it. Not like forget about this person. Just be like somebody's introducing me to a new ideology, to a new faith, and I'm gonna look at this as objectively as possible. So don't put your emotions into it. I understand that's very hard to do, but I'm all for like people converting for not for each other. If only they believe in their religious doctrine, whatever it is that they might
So
believe
I think there's two parts. My response is there's two parts to this. I semi-agree. I think like if you take religion very serious, then you probably would want them to be of the same faith. So, right. So there's two things. So in my opinion, a lot of what he just said is because he's been religiously persecuted from Pakistan, right? So his family came here because of religion, right? So if he's marrying out of their religious faith, it's like, what was the point for? Which I understand, and I can appreciate that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think-
it's not
I think
just that.
just,
I
like-
don't think that's
Well, I'm-
taken- yeah.
I think in
That's
my
your
opinion-
perception,
Yeah, that's
sure.
my
Yeah, yeah,
perception.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's a truth.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And the other thing is, which it's totally fine. I think that's your prerogative, right? If you want to marry someone within Ahmadi community, do it. But I don't think it's okay to not try with anybody else, not get to know anybody else, because you don't know whether they're going to fall in love with your religion or not. That's God's plan, bro. And you're
Look at
just
me,
like
man.
you're like stopping it.
Look at me. I'm a man whose heart has been broken dozens of times. You're looking at a 23-year-old heartbroken man.
He's such a romantic.
I am a romantic person.
Hopeless romantic.
But the reason why I said life is easier if you share it with someone who has the same values as you.
Okay.
Let's say somebody marries.
I agree with that. That's 100%
life is just
true.
easier.
Yeah.
That's my main.
Whether religion
Yeah.
or not, just as long as I think if your core values are that's extremely important.
I think honestly, when people ask the question, "What is the most important thing to have a successful marriage?" I'm unmarried. I have no idea, but here's what I suspect. I suspect that having the same
You
values.
probably had a bunch of cousins that you've seen, no?
Yeah, but I mean, like they're still young and married. Like I don't.
Oh, they're still married.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like from my perspective, the way to a healthy marriage is if you have the same values.
Yeah.
It'll work out for the most part, and you have good communication. But having values is, I think, the most important thing.
What's a
to do
good
in a
example
marriage.
of when it didn't work out?
Like so I've seen, bro, in my family, and I don't want to spot specific people, but just in my community as well, like people love, like as we talked about.
Out 'em, bro.
No,
Out 'em.
love, as we talked about,
Out
right?
'em.
It's so powerful. Love is so powerful. It can make you. The thing is, when you're in love with someone, you're not thinking. You're not thinking. You're literally, your heart is thinking. Your mind is telling you to think, but your heart is taking your mind's job. That's what happens in love. And so, like, you've been in love and you've been in love. Like we said in this movie, you just want to be one with them and you just want to make it happen however so you want to. And what happens? People rush into it. So they start, like, the marriage process immediately, and they just, like, do whatever it takes to get married.
Yeah.
And in some cases, that might mean converting someone, and they might not even believe in whatever it is you converted them for. So that is a big red flag, and that's not the way towards a long-term healthy relationship. I'm talking 10 or 15 years plus in a marriage.
Okay. Well, so what's the problem that you see that people run into down the line when they are converted?
Well, it's about the values.
Does a
bro.
problem come from
values
the person, or does it come from the person who's religious?
No. It's. I'm not saying one person is to blame. I'm just saying that if you
So
have
what's the value?
So let's give an example, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a Muslim
Okay.
gets married to a Christian,
Okay.
right? And this Christian woman converts, and she studies Islam. She's like, I like some things, but you know what? I love this guy more. I love him more than I love his religion. That to me is a major red flag. Regardless, they get married,
Okay.
right? And a year into the marriage, she's like, let's go out and drink. I miss drinking. And
Oh,
he's
that's
like,
interesting.
no, we can't go drinking. Remember, we're not supposed to drink. And she's like, I get it, but what's wrong with a glass of wine? Like, come on, you don't have to get drunk. Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? Can I just go drink with my friends? You don't have to do it. And he's like, well, you can't really do that because it's not allowed. There you go. 1 year in,
Yeah, bro.
a major value issue. So you asked for an example. I'm going to give you an
Yeah, yeah.
example where two people get married. They're in love, obsessively in love, but
Has
their
that ever
values are
happened?
not
But
aligned.
that's the person's fault because that's an innate value.
Yes.
That's not from a religion.
Yes.
Most people in the religion that aren't drinking, it's because of discipline, not an innate value, right?
You have to develop that,
Yeah.
sure.
I don't even know if it's developed. Some people, I think it's like you just know, like whether you think it's good or bad. Some people just don't drink. Like,
Mhm.
like I've never like taken a drink of alcohol, right?
Same,
And
yeah.
That's not part of my religion per se. It's more discipline on your end.
Well, so for me, Islam, it says you can't have alcohol at all, like not even a sip. So it is definitely my religion, but
Yeah.
it's also discipline as well.
Yeah.
That I agree with you. It's
Understanding
understanding
I feel about discipline. Some people just don't like it.
Some people, yeah. But my point is like the girl that drinks
Okay.
from drinking
In this
before,
example,
right?
yeah.
She's innately okay with drinking.
Yeah.
Like naturally, she's like,
She even likes it.
yeah, she likes
Yeah.
it. She
Yeah.
grew up like, and it was cool, whatever. She met a dude, and he doesn't like it because of his religion, and she's like, okay, fuck it, drinking's not that important, right?
So she
And
gives it up for him.
For him, right? But that's the issue because that's his
Yes.
fault. That's not her. That's
I agree.
That's his fault.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I don't know about
absolutely.
that. I'd say it falls on both.
It's more so the guy's
You're
fault.
right.
I think it falls on
It
both.
falls on both, but it's more
You're
so the
right.
guy's fault
Yeah.
because he's expecting somebody to give up the way they
Expectation.
grew up.
Yeah.
And that's like you're putting such a burden on the other person. Just understand, sure, this thing happened, but it's not going to work out. That's why I think,
We lost Russ.
no, Russ is still there.
He's on his
I
phone.
just think
He's scrolling-
the older
see
I
him
get,
scrolling on
bro,
his Instagram.
I think Russ might be looking up his past. We might have motivated
get back
him
in get back
to-
in the game.
No, quantitative is in a healthy relationship. He plans to get married, inshallah, hopefully soon. But dude, like
Yeah.
what you were talking about, the concept of this person giving up, I actually think the more I've grown up, and I think I've shared this with you, I just think some things that my parents told me are just right. They were like, they've now shared these things more and more as they've gotten more comfortable with me and my sisters, and I hear this in my community often as well. Once you open the door of dating, bro, like just dating as a whole, and this concept of developing exes, you just become numb. And it's not a healthy way to live, bro. Because at the back of your brain, you're not gonna forget certain people. It's very hard. You can come to terms with it, but it's just like you're making yourself do something that it's not supposed to do. Because I truly believe this psychologically and scientifically. You're supposed to be with one person for the rest of your life. Ideally, it's your first love, which makes sense, right? In a lot of religions, even in Christianity, it's emphasized for both the guy and the girl to be virgins before. And it makes sense why. Like, truly, it makes sense why. I understand it's hard for some people to do that, but it just makes sense to me because, duh. Like, you develop feelings, right? And emotions happen. And life is just easier if you marry the person, you lose their virginity to them, and I just think life is more peaceful that way. And I'm not like judging people who don't go that route, but I just think life is easier that way. And at the end of the day,
So you're saying that it's harder to move beyond people. You're always gonna have feelings for the people that you're with.
in my perspective, I think so. I might be
Yeah,
wrong,
it
but that's
won't
what I
let
believe
you
right now.
Be 100% invested in the relationship. that
Yeah,
you're in.
I take it back. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm actually right. I'm 100% right. But go ahead.
So okay, I get your point, but we've talked about this too. It's like you can have that mindset, but she might not, right? And so that's gonna make things just as difficult because she might have been forced into this arranged marriage or whatever it is,
sure.
right? And if she was forced into it, and then you guys happen to not even fall in love, right? Because you're marrying this person kind of off the bat. You haven't had much experience in dating them at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not easy. That's not easy in itself, bro. And the thing is, if you both are invested, like, completely in this point of view, fine, cool. It might work, right? Because now you're living for them, they're living for you, whatever. But if that's not the case, if one person doesn't believe that, I think it's going to be just as difficult because that's a value in itself, just as difficult as, like, a loss of values.
You know what's crazy? Arranged marriages are more successful than love marriages.
Oh, okay. Well,
That
what
is not
metric?
a.
Huh?
What's your metric though?
Yeah.
They've done studies on this.
No,
I'm not making
bro,
this
I'm
up.
sorry, this is
Russ.
complete
Russ, fact
bullshit.
check me. Hold on a second. Fact.
Honestly, respectfully, whatever statistic comes up, I disagree because people can be married and unhappy, which happens.
I've been in
not-
That's a
Iran.
fair point.
In Iran, that's 100%. I would say most couples that I met over 60, all these frustrated, unhappy with their
Yes.
relationships. They're there with each other because they have to be.
Yeah. Look,
And
my point.
real quick.
Yeah.
On top of that, people that not even like Iran, of course it's going to happen more there than does here, right? But here, the people that I've met that are married still, I hear things from their kids. Like some friends of mine say, the reason my parents are still together is because of the kids. The reason we're still together is because, like, they said so many times, like, I've heard this so many times, bro, they're not happy. They're not happy. You don't understand the stuff they say to each other. Like, that to me is just as bad as divorce. If you're living unhappy for 30, 40 years, brother, that is not a good thing.
I see you.
Look at this.
I hear
Where's
you.
the
I
butt?
see.
Where's the butt?
I
Where's the
think.
butt?
Look, I think my point in sharing that statistic was to counter your argument about about like the possibility of it working out. So my point is, you're right. You can't really measure the success of a marriage because people
Depends
are.
on how you define
It's very
success.
right because for some people, success might mean exactly. There you go. A
Yeah,
beautiful
lasting.
point.
Yeah.
Some people it might just mean staying together, even if it's unhappy. That might be success for some people.
Maybe.
Now we might disagree with that metric,
Yeah.
but for this person, that is a success. But I think personally, the success rates of arranged marriages versus love marriages are probably about the same. Because at the end of the day,
Happiness. Maybe happiness is a better term over success.
it is true though. Arranged marriages last longer.
Yeah,
in terms-
yeah, I
it is-
agree
That
with
is
that.
true.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but we
saying
don't know.
that.
We can't measure
There's a
the.
reason why though.
Why do you think the reason is?
You know why?
Because culturally, like
Yeah,
it
there's
divorces
an
look bad.
expectation.
Divorce.
Yes and no. Yes and no. This is like opening up such a big. I'm very curious to talk to.
You don't think it's an expectation?
In America, I'm thinking. See, the thing is, I'm thinking of from an American perspective.
I'm
not
thinking
even
in a cultural perspective, bro. Don't think American perspective.
But the
because
thing is,
these
I'm-
people in your community. You guys aren't American. You have a culture that you guys are living by.
No, but that's American though. That's
It's
like
not
saying
American, bro. American
is.
is Western. You're not
It
living.
depends. So
No,
I
I.
think you're talking about like there's different points of view.
Yeah,
You're
I
talking about,
disagree
like,
with him because I think.
typically American. I agree
That's
with
what I'm
him.
saying.
But if you're talking about American as America's encompasses everybody,
Yes.
then that's different.
Yeah. What is
Okay, that's
American?
not a fair point. He could just say Pakistani because that's just what it is.
No, it's not. Because no, it's
If
not.
America encompasses everybody, then you can just say Pakistani people.
No,
right,
hold
'cause
on a
you're
second. No,
taking
no.
your point
I'm
of view.
saying no. Hold on. So you're conflating two things. So
Okay.
hold on. So you're talking about.
Conflating. I
Yeah,
love that
you are.
word.
Because my point is, you can't define what it means to be an American. The whole promise of our country is diversity. So I understand
my
there's
God.
values and culture. I get that. No, I get that. But I'm talking from the perspective of, in my community, all my friends were born and raised in America. A lot of my friends, right? Or they came here when they were like 2 or 3. So they
Okay.
were born and raised in America in this environment. And I'm
Mhm.
talking to you about arranged marriage as they see it. I'm not talking to you as somebody who sees it from the lens of a Pakistani, because I moved, right? I don't live there, so
Yeah.
this might be different in my home country. I understand culturally, but in America,
Okay.
it is different because you grow around different people, circumstances, society is different. But I disagree with you on your point about, because an American, we have a different, the whole promise of America is there is no central value or culture. It's multicultural. That's the
Of course, bro. But
Yeah.
my point is that it's being so. What's the word? It's like you're not pinpointing anything by saying American and then saying, "Wow, there's so many cultures in America." You're not
'Cause
pinpointing anything.
But I'm saying it
Pinpoint it.
means different for everybody. Like being an American is different for everybody.
What
and
I'm
that's
saying,
okay.
bro, is pinpoint it because you're not being cohesive when you say.
What do you
that.
want me to pinpoint specifically?
Like your culture. The reason you're saying arranged marriage
it's not
is
culture.
a culture.
It's not culture. First of all, what is arranged marriage? A lot of people think arranged marriage means you meet somebody and you just get married the next day. That's not what arranged marriage means, by the way. It's not what arranged marriage in my culture.
I'm
That's
not
not what it
saying
means.
that. I'm not saying
But
that.
I'm saying you have a different perception of arranged marriage. Living in America, people think arranged marriage just means you don't even see the other person. You just meet on the day of the marriage and you get married, and that's what happens.
No, I don't.
Sometimes it does happen, but
That
Yeah.
does happen, but I'm saying in America, in our community, arranged marriage means it doesn't mean you don't get to meet the other girl before. You get to meet them multiple times. You can
Bro,
talk
but
with
I
them
didn't say that.
privately.
Is my point. I never once said
But
that.
I'm saying people perceive arranged marriage. There's like a negative connotation.
Okay,
to
but
it.
you're not answering to me now. You're answering.
What's your
own-
question though? You're asking me to pinpoint something.
My
what do you
point
want me to
is,
pinpoint?
I'm pinpointing the culture. It doesn't have to be Pakistani. It's the culture of arranged marriage. I'm not saying you're gonna meet on the first day.
What
Yeah.
was the original question?
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
I don't know what the
Of
original
mine?
question was.
No,
Or
just
in
just
general?
there's a conversation. This is a conversation. What was the
We
original
started with the concept of your question, which said, "What does love
Yeah.
mean to
Oh,
each
yeah,
of
that's
us?"
right.
Yes, that's where this.
question? So that was what love means.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I think the question was, who is happier, arranged marriages or not?
I don't think you
Success rate. He said.
Can,
Yeah.
success.
You said
Yeah.
success.
I do think statistically, if the term success is defined as not divorce,
Longevity.
longevity, then statistically we've seen arranged marriage. That doesn't mean it's happier. I'm not saying that. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, from what we've seen, right? Arranged
Yeah.
marriages tend to last longer.
Which is fine.
Which
That's
is fine.
fine.
Does that mean if you're in a love marriage you're gonna get a divorce? No, that's not.
I
what
don't
I'm
think it's
saying.
as important as happy though. I don't think
I think it
longevity
just-
is as important.
At the end of the day, bro, it comes down to
I think happiness, in the way that we think about
Yeah.
it, is a luxury.
100%.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
luxury
Great point.
of the West.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think I don't think people were happy back in the day with their marriages.
No, you're right, dude.
I think
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's like if you're happy in a relationship, that's like a modern. They're not.
It's a newer thing.
It's a modern thing.
Mm.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The more developed we've gotten as humans, the less problems we have. And then,
Well, I don't know if it's less problems. It's like what we think is now we
Important.
expect.
Mm.
Oh, this is what we can have, and if you don't have it, then you're not happy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So which is totally fine. That's a luxury, right? We should appreciate it more though.
You
Right.
can only appreciate when you see that. Like for me, when I went to Iran, I didn't know that it was a luxury. Like I saw,
Mm.
I didn't like forget marriage. Like I was seeing a guy who all his life worked with his hands, always out in the sun,
Mm.
everything like that. He had all this emotional resistance and frustration with his life, and you could see it in his face. That feeling that I have where I don't have that is a luxury, because I've talked about it with my therapist. I've talked about it with my family. I can talk about my emotions. What he has is not that's a luxury that I have from being in the West.
Mm.
He does not have that.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Because we have I've talked to you about this, like, people in developing countries don't have the time to ponder over
100%.
the status of their
Right.
marriage.
Yeah.
When you don't have electricity, you're not thinking about, oh, like, are you happy? Should we do a date night? You're just
Yeah.
like looking to provide for your family and kids. So that's a great point. A lot of Americans,
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
yeah, like a lot of Americans don't think about it
Yeah.
that way. But it's still important though.
What?
To be in a healthy,
I'm not-
happy
yeah, I'm not
relationship.
saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, we should appreciate that more. If you're happy, you should really appreciate that.
Like, we should cherish that. Be like,
Yeah.
not a lot of couples get to have what we have.
For almost nobody, right? If you think about the world and the span of the world.
Half,
Yeah.
a third of the world lives in poverty, probably more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So they're constantly struggling. Yeah.
What does love mean to you?
I'll say when I said I love you to the girl that I was dating, it was very emotional. It was like I care for you so much, or I'm emotionally like so invested. That was what it was like, a feeling when I say when I said I love you. It was more of like a feeling. And I was gonna say that within the first month. Like I had
Within
to
the first
stop
month.
myself. For the first month, I was like, within the first month, I was like, we were in a relationship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I had to literally stop myself. So then like after like a month of like stopping myself, pretty much every day from saying it, I
Wow.
was like, okay, fine, I'll finally say it. Russ is back in
Yeah.
it. he's like, ooh, what? So for me, that was interesting. So then, but that to me was more like I wouldn't say it has to do with like. It was more of a feeling than it was like what it means to me, because I don't know if I would be able to just like lay down my life for a person like that. For me, if I'm being honest, like I don't know if I would do that.
Wow.
Like am I?
Yeah.
Like
There's
maybe
different
maybe I'm
perspectives,
just a
yeah.
bad person. I don't know.
No, bro.
Huh? Maybe I don't know. I feel
No,
like
it has nothing to do with being a bad person. It's just like I was saying, everything is from experience. I say that from like I guess experience of like he's seen it, right? Like my dad and his buddies, I grew up like with them a lot.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed with them is that loyalty and respect are extremely important, and loyalty to them meant like laying their life down for each other,
Okay.
right? And so I've seen that, and I'm like, dude, I think, and now that I'm at this point of like seeing how they've acted, and I think about it, I'm like, okay, so what does loyalty really mean? And I think it means more than like a mental or verbal affirmation. I think everything at the end of the day boils down to physicality, right? So I think if you're willing to give something up, like in terms of your life for somebody else, that's true love. That's true loyalty. And in my opinion, I don't think there's anything more important in this world than loyalty.
All right.
So that's my perspective.
Was it liberating the first time you said "I love you" to her? Because you were keeping it.
Liberating.
Yeah, because you
Good
were keeping
question.
it. You were
Yeah.
keeping it to yourself for
I
a
was
long time.
scared. I would say like, you know what I mean? Like she was just like she was like, why?
Yeah.
Like
She
how
said
do you know?
why?
She's like, how do you know?
Huh?
Like how do you know?
And what did you say?
I was like, it was. I just told her it was the same reason why. Like she also said the same thing when I asked her if I wanted to be exclusive.
Oh, she asked you.
I asked
her.
I asked her to be exclusive in the beginning.
Okay.
And so I'd never been in a relationship before. So she was like, why now? Like, why do you want to be in a relationship with me? And so for me, like both of the times when I said I wanted to be in a relationship and when I said I love you were more intuitive, which is interesting to me because I'm an overthinker. So for me, like the moments of like, I want to be in a relationship with this person, I love this person.
Yeah.
All those things were just like, I can't say anything more than it was just a feeling.
Do you think waiting was the right decision?
I don't know. I think it was more just like societally, like, you better not say it this early. You dumb person. Don't be dumb.
That's the problem, though, bro. Because that's not who you are. That's not who
I
you
don't
are.
know, man. I have a guru who also talks about how love,
Yeah.
what we think of love is not really love. It's attachment. It's like this insecurity. You feel like this person's gonna complete you. That feeling of that, like, I need you in order to be happy. And his point of view is that love is when you think of the other person. It's not something that you just have for this one person. It's like, I care for you and I will do what's best for you.
Okay. I agree and disagree.
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
I agree because it's true. I mean, sometimes love is like people are insecure and they just need something to fill the void.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I disagree because love is also in the moment. And you can love somebody in the moment for that reason. It doesn't mean those feelings aren't valid.
A long pause, a beat, a longer beat. I
Go ahead.
think that a lot of American society and any society is influenced by entertainment,
Okay.
right? What the country's entertainment shows to them. So in Hollywood,
I would
agree.
I don't think that it's limited to America anymore.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
You're
I
right.
think it's
any country.
this girl 100%, like, she might have been growing up in Pakistan, but she was 100% Western.
yeah.
100%.
My point is because as the world, I agree with you. Like the world's getting more globalized and entertainment is reaching everywhere. So we're really influenced.
Nollywood.
Yeah,
Nollywood.
Nollywood. Yeah, that's Pakistani cinema.
Nollywood.
Huh?
Nollywood.
Oh, Nollywood is Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Because Bollywood is Pakistan. So I thought
Okay.
that's what you said.
Okay.
So we're influenced by what we see on screen, and Bollywood films have this concept of the guy being the hopeless romantic.
We lost the camera?
No. We have two
Yeah,
angles. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So Bollywood talks a lot about the hopeless romantic, like the guy always like just admiring the hell out of this girl. A lot of the times, right? Like I've seen this in Bollywood
Okay.
films. I've seen this a lot.
Yeah.
And in Hollywood films, what is the rom-com? Like I've seen quite a few rom-coms,
Yeah.
but you see
The
similar.
2000s was definitely girl in all of the guy.
Girl was in love with
Yeah,
the guy.
I think
right?
after
How to Not
that-
Lose a Guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it ebbs and flows. My point is, you're
Yeah.
influenced by the concept of love as it's portrayed on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And subconsciously, I think what you said when you felt like you wanted to say "I love you" to this girl, but you filtered yourself after the first month. I think that I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't. This is why it's happened, but I think you might have been influenced by perceptions of what you've seen through the screen and just the cultural norms. Because in our society, if a guy is true, like honest with somebody in the very beginning, that might scare off the other person. They'll be like, "Whoa, I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
ready for all this. This is a lot. Whoa, do you really love me? How come?
And my counter to that is she's not the one if that's the case, because that's how you feel.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No idea. No.
No. What I'm saying
No,
is
what you're saying.
what I'm saying is if
I see what you mean. Yeah.
you get what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
But
is
explain it better.
you
Yeah.
you say I love you when you're ready, right? And she's like, oh well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's like more standoffish about that idea,
Yeah.
and she tends and then she goes ahead and breaks it up.
Yeah.
She's just not the one.
Yeah,
There's
but
more out there.
Yeah, if she breaks it up.
If
she's
she
like-
does, yeah, but if she does, then she maybe is the one. Maybe she, that maybe not the one, but it's leading to the right direction. Does that make sense?
Well, asking questions is never wrong, right? Like asking,
I like skepticism.
Skepticism.
If you're skeptical of what somebody tells you, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are your intentions? Why do you like? First, for when she said like, why do you want to be in a relationship? I thought that was very intelligent.
That is a good question.
I was like,
Yeah.
great question. I was like, green flag.
Yeah.
Green flag.
That is a good
flag.
question.
The fact that you're not sure if you want to be in a relationship, fantastic. But for me, it was like, I think she was just, I don't even know what my point was, so I'll just.
No, I see what you mean. Like
Yeah.
asking, that's a great point, because if somebody is genuinely curious, what's making you feel a certain way, that's a healthy thing.
100%.
Like you should be constantly having those conversations. Like, why is it that you're experiencing this? Why is it that you're feeling this way about me? Like that's very
the
healthy
question
to
of
do.
why is literally, it's like a superpower, dude.
It is.
You can figure out so much information about something just with the question of why.
Even in anything like this, like you could ask why Mr. Russ is dressed the way that he is, or why he acts the way that he does, or why he's a little nervous when he smiles. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then your brain will be, don't lie to me, Russ. You're cute. You're cute. No, you're cute.
Very cute.
No, but just like I think with this question of why, like it's like almost like it opens up your mind to be able to sort of like absorb in whatever's going on.
100%.
Yeah.
And you can get down to like the nitty gritty, right, with the question why.
100%. I'd say
Yeah.
even with comedy,
Yeah.
I'd say it opens up
100%.
for me. Like when I stop saying, "Oh, I need to have the joke," and more like, "Oh, there's something funny here," and just sitting with that, and then just letting go, and just like that to me, like that posing of like, that wondering for me is like what opens up the world to you. If you sit in the wonder, the more that you can sit with wonder and with not knowing, the more that the world will be with you.
Wow, that's a great one-liner, man.
That's a good one.
That's a great point. Letting go is very hard.
That
so
is
hard,
very
bro.
difficult.
And comedy, it's like is the most
I agree.
pinnacle of letting go, because on stage, comedians
Yeah.
have no idea what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, for the most part, when they're sticking to script, they do know what they're gonna say. But when they're improvising,
Yeah.
especially when you're messing around with your friends, like a truly funny person has no idea what they're gonna say. Have you ever seen a person who they'll say something funny, and they'll take a beat and they'll laugh at how hard, and they'll laugh super hard at what they just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even
all the time.
comedians, when
Yeah.
they're writing, they'll like write something, and then they'll take a beat and they'll laugh out loud in like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Just because they're realizing. Anyway, sorry.
No.
No,
That's
that was good.
That's
yeah.
good, man. A comedian once told me, be naked on stage.
Yeah.
He was like, don't take your clothes off, but literally just be the self that you've always wanted to be, and just let go and see where it takes you. And that's the best advice I've gotten for comedy. Just being naked on stage. Again,
Yeah.
not taking your clothes off. Don't do that. Just take your mental barriers off. Like take those barriers off that are filtering yourself. That maybe filtered that day on December 15, 2023 with those two brothers that told me
Remembers the
and looked
date,
at me.
dude.
Yeah, I love
remembers the
memory.
date.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember the
Come
time as well.
on,
It was
dude.
a 10:45 p.m.
What?
show. It was a 10:45 p.m. show at Fourth Wall Comedy.
Hey,
remember?
man, I know
Yeah.
other people that are like that. I have a friend who knows the exact day and time that he met his future wife.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Exact day and time. He knows the exact message that he sent first, timestamp,
I love
day, what he said, what she was wearing, how she looked, everything. He knows
Wow.
the T, everything.
that. So what you're saying is somebody doesn't know that, they're a terrible person.
Huh?
They're a terrible partner if somebody does not know
Yeah,
this.
100%. You should just
I agree.
pack up and
Wait,
go.
speaking of like being naked on stage, what do you think about the concept of being naked? Do you think it's like clothes, like they're kind of too modern, no? We should go back to our primal ways.
That's what's happening in America.
Huh?
Look at the way people dress now, bro.
We're going back to primal ways.
I like your point of view, actually.
Thank you.
I think the
As you should. Okay.
I think there's a wisdom to the religious cultures and like why we do what we do. There's actually a good book called Patterns of History.
Oh,
In
I've
that-
heard of that book.
In this book, it talks about how there's all these customs and everything like that we all have. One person that you marry. There could be like why you don't say certain things, why you don't take your clothes off in public, whatever it is. It's like, and then there's also the opposite where you question those things, like you should be polyamorous. We should be able to, I don't know, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is like it said about history and modern culture today is the result of trial and error throughout hundreds of thousands of years, and then we do things today because they're the most fit, or they work for us. And when we question those things, or we don't do those things, then it kind of like takes us off track and we hurt ourselves. Doesn't mean that all the things that we do are right or correct, and that's why it's good to question things. But the book says that about 2% of the things that we do are probably things that we should question, and the rest are things that are like tried and true.
Who's the author of the book?
They're William and Ariel Durant.
Oh, it's the co-writers.
They're co-writers. Yeah. They're husband and wife. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great, but that to me was an interesting point where it's like,
When was this book written? Do you know?
I think it was
Recent.
pre-60s.
Pre-60s.
It was like
Okay. That makes
60s,
more
80s,
sense.
60s, 80s. It's a good,
That's a good I mean, that makes sense. The reason I asked that is because I feel like the age of media and the age of like the printing press and all that, so much information's out there now. It's easy to manipulate somebody's decisions more in a mass setting, right? I mean, with this woke culture going on and all of that, like that doesn't relate to anything probably pre 2000s, right?
interesting.
People have always been canceling each other, though. That's not
Yeah,
a new
maybe.
concept. We've
Yeah.
been
That's
canceling
interesting.
people for a
Huh.
long time. I want to write something about this, but I don't know. Like, a lot of people complain about cancel culture these days, but we've been canceling each other since the dawn of time, like since the dawn of humanity.
Yeah.
Look at the Salem witch trials in our American history.
True.
People literally burned people, bro. Straight up, bro. Yeah, exactly. And we complain about,
But they were witches. Of course it's okay to ban them.
Yeah, well, in that case, I don't know.
If they're a witch, trust me, I'm burning them too. Not a problem.
So we talked about a lot of things on the podcast today.
Yeah.
I think we had a engaging conversation that went off the rails a lot, but we kept a theme together. Any last words you want to say before we go?
I'm dumb. Don't listen to anything that I've said. Come to your own conclusions.
Headline: Should you break up with, or should you get back with your ex?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's
Gonna be the title.
Should you get back with your ex? Yeah.
Comedian asks two Gen Z hosts if you should go back to it.
How old are you? 27?
I am, yes.
Gen Z.
You're
Yeah.
still Gen Z?
Nah.
Yeah,
Millennial.
you're Gen. What year were
By
you
the
born?
cusp,
I'm
bro.
millennial.
What year were you born?
96.
Yeah. 97.
Oh, yeah.
The cusp
December.
of millennial.
December.
Oh, really?
30th of 96.
No way. December 30th.
100%.
You have LeBron James' birthday. Congratulations.
I know we share nothing in common.
Nothing?
Nothing. This man he's tall, good looking. Okay, I'm not bad looking, but like.
Have you met LeBron?
Huh?
Have you met LeBron?
I just feel like he's like the perfect specimen in terms of like just like mental. I guess. No, but like if you think about it, because like I think what's interesting about people who are at the pinnacle of their respective sports or fields is that they are the perfect blend of thinking and not thinking, of intuition and planning. And for me, I'm the opposite. I'm a planner and I'm a thinker, and I don't. That intuition, that trust is not what I don't have, but LeBron has both, which is wild to me.
Wow, that was a deep quote for LeBron,
Interesting.
bro.
Wow.
LeBron, that was probably the deepest thing a stranger has ever told you, buddy.
I'm cooking that, bro.
That is
Yeah.
powerful. No,
What do you
that's
mean?
interesting.
That was just a deep thing to talk.
No
about.
one has ever thought this way of LeBron James, which is an interesting take.
No,
'cause
I'd say Kobe, you know, whoever.
all
you-
athletes
yeah.
are saying.
Trust. They have an
Mm.
incredible level of trust, and as an overthinker and a perfectionist, I don't trust myself enough to let go and to allow the process to happen. And so for me, being on stage is this constant practice of letting go and learning how to just be okay with mistakes, because I feel like and I talk about this with my guru a lot, the block to that intuition and that person beyond yourself is the fear. If you have fear, it cuts your brain.
Fear is the mind killer.
Fear is
Fear is the mind.
Fear is the
There's
mind
nothing to
killer.
fear but fear itself.
So
Yes.
I don't, LeBron, I want to be like you. So that's it. Yeah.
Would you like to apologize to anyone?
Apologize?
Okay.
Soroush, I think that's our show.
Can we get a trailer? Can we get a prequel? Can we get something? No, I'm kidding.
All right, Elon. Thank you.
All right, man.
Nothing.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we were late in the beginning,
You're good, bro.
but since you've known me, I think you've gotten a little used to that.
It's that Middle Eastern, Eastern culture.
Well, if there's something about our culture, I will give it to you. We are
Well,
late.
Persians are notoriously late too, so
It's a brown thing,
it's fair.
Oh, it's a Mexican thing too?
actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's literally a brown thing, bro. Like,
I don't think.
yeah.
Really.
The color of your skin influences
The
how
color?
late you are.
Do you think the color of our skin influences whether or not we'll be
you are.
punctual?
100%. The darker you are, the later you're gonna be.
No, let brown people have something. Brown people are worse
Just kidding,
than
bro.
any
Just
other
kidding.
person.
How do you know, bro?
Because look, man, let us have something.
How many black people have you encountered that
Black people
late?
keep winning at everything. Let us have something, bro. Let us be late on time.
I feel like I was watching a podcast. Actually, there's a really good show you should watch. It's Trevor Noah's documentary. When he's coming up, and I think he was saying that black people are also very, very notoriously late.
They are. They are. Yeah, Nigerian people are very late.
What can I say, man? The darker you are,
I
the
think
later
brown
you
people are the worst at it, though. Like Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi, South Asian, for sure the worst.
The worst.
The worst.
I honestly
There's
don't know
levels
about
to this,
that.
my
I
guy.
don't really-
Persians are like
Persians are like second.
they're pretty bad. Really bad.
Who cares? A lot of white people are also. No, actually, white
Poor
people.
followers. They were.
I'll give it.
like-
White
Oh.
people are always on time.
Yes, that's
for the
like
most part.
literally the
That
the
is.
thing.
That's what they stand
Yeah.
for right now. That's what they have got going for them.
I'm always on time.
Are you making fun of white people now?
Oh yes.
You just.
You know when you have when
You're
you,
white though.
I have a very small
You're
percent.
40%
but-
white.
Oh, you're right. Actually, yeah. Spanish, Portuguese. Well, I guess I don't care. I'll make fun of.
Oh, I would ask you. Do you identify as a brown person or a white person?
I classify myself as Californian.
No, bro. I want to get no. This guy. He hates this question. Do you identify yourself as a brown or white person?
Brown.
Sorry? Brown.
Brown.
So you are a brown person. So
Yeah.
you are a brownie like me.
Well, I mean, I still my
You're a
culture.
brownie fan.
Even though I have very little Mexican blood.
Cult? Did
What?
you just call them? What did you say?
I was gonna say culture, but that was the wrong word. That's why
Yes.
I stopped myself.
Go on, man. This is revenge time
Why are you the only one laughing?
because it's hilarious to me.
Quant,
And like he said,
Quant.
Quant's laughing.
back end. What do you think?
That was
It
pretty
was very
funny.
awkward.
That was
huh?
pretty
That
funny.
was a very awkward.
How he
laugh.
almost called his culture an entire cult. That was hilarious.
That was pretty awkward.
That was actually
Oh,
racist.
okay. I was just gonna say, even though I have very little indigenous Mexican blood, my culture is still Mexican, and then my other side is more Pakistani, Muslim type culture. So yeah, I would consider myself brown.
Are you Pakistani?
I would say Californian.
You said
that's my-
brown in the whitest
Brown,
accent.
very brown.
Have you seen that meme?
I'm so
Pakistani.
brown. I'm probably the most brown person you've ever met in your life.
No, you're not. You're a loser. You're what I call a mutt.
I'm not-
Forever mutt. All
I'm
right.
not-
On that note, we'll end the
All right, thank you
podcast.
guys.